Now, before we really even dive into the training for this course, as a coach, you might be asking, what exactly would a holistic nutrition coach do? The short answer would be that there are limitless opportunities for a holistic nutrition coach. But the longer answer requires that we understand what coaching is and what health coaching specifically is before we can really dial into what holistic nutrition means and how you might use it in practice. In general, a health coach is a supportive mentor and a wellness authority who helps others or clients to feel their best through individual food and lifestyle changes that meet their unique needs and their health goals to be or live holistically. Many times, health coaches provide their services in private coaching practices or in sessions with one-on-one and group coaching programs. But health coaching isn't about one diet or one way of living. Instead, it's an integrative approach using the idea that we're all different and we all have our unique dietary, lifestyle, emotional, and physical needs. What that translates to is that we don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to health and wellness or nutrition. Instead, a health or nutrition coach would work with the client to help them discover how to fuel their bodies to become their healthiest, happiest versions of themselves, or what we call their best self, through a more holistic approach. Furthermore, health coaches in general also will emphasize holistic health beyond the dinner plate as they view or approach wellness through essential food. At the core of our process and our curriculum is the idea and belief that there are areas of your client's life that impact their long-term health just as much as the food that they take in, and includes their relationships, their careers, their spirituality, and their physical activity. And this is why we look at our client holistically to be able to make changes with their nutrition intake. So a health coach or a nutrition coach, or in this case, a holistic nutrition coach, would use the concepts of bio-individuality and then our concept of essential food, which is described in your manual, along with pulling from different dietary theories that are explored in your training program to take a more proactive and holistic approach to helping clients achieve and regain their health holistically. Now, how would a typical health coaching program work? Let's imagine that you are already certified as a health coach and you've become in touch with someone who's looking for guidance and your support in the area of personal wellness. They love what you do and they like what you have to say and they like your theories and they believe that they want to work with you as a client, and that's a great start. So here's how the coach and client relationship works from that point. First, we would finalize all the details regarding your agreement with service, including the specific areas of your client's health that they are going to focus on, and this would include things like maybe reduced cravings or transitioning to a gluten-free diet or even just losing weight. Obviously, you'd be working out agreements for payment and the ways that your client would pay you. And keep in mind that people are using their smartphones to use Apple Pay or even online services like PayPal to pay for your service, but be open to the fact that some people will be more old school and simply want to pay by cash or check. Then in terms of logistics, you would determine the best days of the week and the times of the day that you would schedule your session work with your client. And this could be for a 3 to 6 month period, initially, depending on the client's goals and their needs. Ideally, coaches are encouraged to check in with their clients at least once a week and also ideally in person. However, if your client is only able to meet remotely or online, using the phone or technology like Skype, FaceTime, or Zoom are also acceptable, but we don't want to go more than 2 weeks without having some form of contact with each client. And this would also be something worked out in the schedule that you have already agreed upon with them. It's also important to point out the fact that not every client will be able to afford to meet with you once a week. In this case, it's better to work with a client maybe every other week so that you can still retain them and provide them service instead of not being able to work with them at all. In other words, if they can't meet with you every week, that's okay as long as they can maybe still commit to every other week, allowing your client to still benefit from your expertise and your coaching services. From there, your sessions could then follow a more basic structure, starting with what's new and what's good in your client's life, and therefore appreciating and affirming some of the positives or the strengths of what's happened in the last week or time period since you've last met. This would then be followed by discussing any of the challenges that they've been having in terms of managing their wellness, their health, and their nutrition intake. Coaches always respond accordingly with good, thoughtful listening, appropriate questions, and custom guidance for each client. Sessions should last approximately 45 to 55 minutes and will always end with 1 to 3 specific recommendations for your client to follow in the form of homework, so to speak, for the time in between sessions. In between your sessions with clients, encourage them to be implementing the suggestions that you've talked about in session. Each coach can choose their own protocol and policies for handling questions or concerns that might come up in between your sessions with the client. As a coach, you might choose to send clients additional resources or offer quick check-ins to stay in touch along the way. Some coaches will offer unlimited email or text message support depending on what they prefer. It's entirely up to the coach. Coaches will repeat their session work or calls with their clients each week or every other week for a 3 to 6 month duration. Again, this is a general time frame and is really subject to the needs of the client. But coaches will then also gradually adjust goals and benchmarks as they go along with their client based on what their needs are, always keeping the client's original wellness goals, nutrition goals, and holistic goals in mind to ensure that you are both on track. And then you can show your client just how far they've come. Now, as a health coach, you will continue to work with more and more clients, learning something new from each person that you work with, and beginning to adjust your unique coaching style, processes, and services as you gain more experience. What we've reviewed so far is just a basic framework that has worked for many coaches and is a great way to just simply get started. Here at the Spencer Institute, we are constantly refining our coaching programs, and in this particular case, we're looking at redefining the power of nutrition with essential food, active listening, powerful questions, goal setting, and other techniques that are unique to health and nutrition coaching. Now, while an average visit to a doctor would only last about 8 to 10 minutes, the average health coaching session is 50 minutes at least twice a month and ideally 4 times or weekly. So an in-depth conversation between health coaches and their clients can happen. In this way, holistic nutrition coaches are filling a vital gap between clients and doctors or those who give them nutritional direction to improve their wellness and their health. By now, it probably won't surprise you to learn that a lot of healthcare professionals have begun to recognize the value of nutrition, human movement, and other lifestyle factors involved in overall health. And more have begun to turn to health and holistic nutrition coaches as part of their long-term patient care strategy. Enhancing service with holistic nutrition coaching into traditional medical care can help patients to implement healthier lifestyle choices and create a more firm foundation for a better vision of their own holistic health.